Xiaomi poised to become a billionaire factory with listing. Xiaomi last week filed for a debut in Hong Kong that will value the company at $50 billion to $100 billion, according to 6 analysts surveyed by Bloomberg. Li is the chairman and chief executive officer and is the biggest shareholder with 31.4% stake, while his fellow founders control 27% of the company, according to the brochure. While Lei and Lin, being Xiaomi's presidents, are already billionaires, a $50 billion valuation would generate 3 new billionaires. A market value of $100 billion would see 5 of Lei and Lin's co-founders reach that mark, an example of how quickly the world's second biggest economy is forging the mega wealthy. Among the world's 500 richest people, there are 40 Chinese, the second most after the U.S., with a combined wealth of $464 billion, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Hey everyone, welcome back to Unlimited Money. How are you all doing? I hope all is good for you. Today, we are back with our latest video. Before starting, share the video with all your friends and subscribe to our channel, and make sure you press that bell icon so you get all the notifications of our latest updates. So let's start. Xiaomi Corporation, usually known as Xiaomi and registered in Asia as Xiaomi Inc., is a Chinese manufacturer and designer of consumer electronics and related software and home appliances. After Samsung, it is the second largest producer of smartphones in the world, most of which run the MIUI operating system. The company's ranked 338th and the newest company on the Fortune Global 500. Xiaomi was founded in 2010 in Beijing by now billionaire Li Jun when he was 40 years old, along with 6 senior colleagues. Li had founded Kingsoft as well as Joyo.com, which he sold to Amazon for $75 million in 2004. In August 2011, Xiaomi published its first smartphone, and by 2014 it had the largest market share of smartphones sold in China. Initially, the company only sold its items online, as it later opened brick-and-mortar stores. By 2015, it was evolving a wide range of consumer electronics. In 2020, the company sold 146.3 million smartphones, and its MIUI operating system has over 500 million monthly users. In the second half of 2021, Xiaomi transcends Apple Inc. to become the second largest seller of smartphones worldwide, with a 17% market share, according to Canalys. It also is a major manufacturer of appliances that include flashlights, televisions, air purifiers, and unmanned aerial vehicles, using its Internet of Things and Xiaomi smart home product ecosystems. Xiaomi keeps its prices close to its production costs and bill of materials costs by keeping most of its products in the market for 18 months, more than most smartphone companies. The company also uses inventory expansion and flash sales to keep its inventory low. In the 2021 review of WIPO's annual World Intellectual Property Indicators, Xiaomi was ranked second in the world with 216 designs and industrial design registrations being produced under the Hague system during 2020. This position is up on their previous third-place ranking in 2019 for 111 industrial design enrollment. On February 8th of 2022, Li published a statement on Weibo to announce plans for Xiaomi to enter the high-end smartphone market and surpass Apple as the top seller of premium smartphones in China in 3 years. To achieve that goal, Xiaomi will fund $15.7 billion in research and development over the next 5 years, and the company will benchmark its products in user ordeal against Apple's product lines. Li described the new strategy as a life-or-death battle for our evolution in his Weibo post after Xiaomi's market share in China contracted over consecutive quarters from 17% to 14% between Q2 and Q3 in 2021, dipping further to 13.2% as of Q4 2021. According to a current report by Canalys, Xiaomi leads Indian smartphone sales in Q1. Xiaomi is one of the leaders of the smartphone makers in India, which continues to device affordably. As a company based in China, Xiaomi is compelled to share data with the Chinese government under the China Internet Security Law and National Intelligence Law. There are reports that Xiaomi's cloud messaging service sends some private data that includes call logs and contact information to Xiaomi servers. Xiaomi later published an MIUI update that made cloud messaging optional and that no private data was sent to Xiaomi servers if the cloud messaging service was turned off. On October 23, 2014, Xiaomi declared that it was setting up servers outside of China for international users, citing improved services and compliance with regulations in several countries. On October 19, 2014, the Indian Air Force provided a warning against Xiaomi phones, stating that they were a national warning as they sent user data to an agency of the Chinese government. In April 2019, researchers at Checkpoint found a security violation in Xiaomi phone apps. The security fault was reported to be pre-installed. On April 30th, 2020, Forbes reported that Xiaomi enormously tracks the use of its browsers, which include private browser activity, phone metadata, and device navigation, and more alarmingly, without secure encryption or depersonalization, more invasively and to a greater extent than mainstream browsers. Xiaomi disputed the claims while confirming that it did enormously collect browsing data and saying that the data was not linked to any individuals and that users had been sanctioned to be tracked. Xiaomi posted a response that states that the collection of compiled usage statistics data is used for internal analysis and would not link any personally identifiable information to any of this data. However, Xiaomi added an option to entirely stop the information leak when using its browser in incognito mode. On December 9, 2014, the High Court of Delhi granted an ex parte instruction that banned the import and sale of Xiaomi products in India. The command was issued in response to a complaint filed by Ericsson in connection to the infringement of its patent license under fair and non-discriminatory licensing. The command was applicable until February 5, 2015, the date on which the High Court was scheduled to call for both parties for a formal hearing of the case. On December 16th, the High Court granted permission to Xiaomi to sell its devices conducted on a Qualcomm-based processor until January 8, 2015. Xiaomi then held various sales on Flipkart, including one on November 30th, 2015. Its flagship Xiaomi Redmi Note 4G phone sold out in 8 seconds. A judge expanded the division bench's interim order that allowed Xiaomi to continue the sale of Qualcomm chipset-based handsets until March 2018. When Xiaomi Corp's founders were eating Malay Congrès at an office in Beijing's Zhongkang neighborhood in 2010, they decided to create a smartphone brand selling headsets at genuine prices. 8 years later, Li Jun and 7 other Xiaomi co-founders have created a company that wants to defy the global industry dominance of Apple and Samsung electronics. It's also targeting an initial public offering that is expected to be the largest since 2014 and which could make 5 new billionaires. The company refused to comment on the net worth of its founders. Just how big these fortunes will be may hook in part on how many new shares are issued, with approximates of the public float ranging from 15 to 25%. However, the market's continuing desire for tech companies is in doubt. Online health tech service provider Ping An Healthcare and technology company dropped below the offer price on its first day of dealing in Hong Kong last week. During the past few quarters, post-IPO listing execution's been mixed, said Sundeep Gantori, who is an equity analyst at UBS Global Wealth Management, commenting on the streaming number of IPOs from Chinese tech companies. Estimation at the higher end of Xiaomi's expected range depends on investors accepting the company as an internet darling and not just a maker of cheap phones. Even if Xiaomi achieves that lofty valuation, it's hard to say how long it can last. Already, people close to the deal have lowered their beliefs, saying the valuation will more likely start at around $60 to $70 billion. A $50 billion valuation with a 25% public float consisting of only newly issued shares would value Li's stake at $11.8 billion, while a $100 billion market cap with a 15% float would boost his stake value to $26.7 billion. That would also bring his total net worth to $28.3 billion, including investments in Kingsoft and YY, making Li China's 4th richest person. So we're at the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and press the bell icon too so you never miss any updates. Hey, make sure you check out the rest of our channel where you'll find some more really cool videos.